Please stand for our morning pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Please continue standing for our moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated.
Well, for me, I mean, yeah, you visualize where you want to be and what you want to accomplish, and you kind of get lost in the process of day to day, grinding it out and working, pulling on others if you have to. It's just about not losing vision and not losing sight of what you're trying to accomplish, no matter what hurdles you have to go through. So I think that kind of relates to whatever you're doing, whatever major you've chosen or what you're interested in. So for me in basketball, and it's about visualizing, whether you write it down, put it on the wall, do something, what your goals are, and get lost in the process of day-to-day grind, day-to-day getting better every single day. Asking questions, aligning yourself with people that have been through it before, that are experienced, and leaning on that advice, and just trying to outwork the next person, and that's the biggest thing.
Something you said there, you're reaching your peak. Do you think, though, you can still take it to another level, or do you think this is as good as it's going to get for you?
I like to use one quote that the limitations exist only in our minds, and if you start using imaginations, then your possibilities become limitless. So that's kind of a mindset that I have. I use my imagination. I do see myself achieving more. I'm hoping, I'm working hard on it, not only myself, but the entire team around me.
You cannot grow without legitimate suffering. You cannot grow without legitimate suffering. Rainbows follow storms. My last book, the favorite chapter was Loss Creates Leaders. Nobody woke up in the morning and said, I want to start a cancer foundation. People who start cancer foundations are people whose lives have been impacted somehow by cancer. Rainbows after storms.
Intelligence can create huge profits. And in fact, you can actually make more money being smart than you can being strong or fast. Okay? And so the importance of developing intellectual property cannot be underestimated. Because I want you to think about something. Intellectual property, no one else can take that from you. Point number one, if you manage it right. Point number two, it is constantly evolving, and it actually takes no capital. If I'm going to go into real estate business, it takes me a whole lot of money to go buy a building and get in the real estate business. Intellectual property, I just have to think through how it actually works and then develop it. And that's what really launched me on the path to saying, you know what? As good as I thought I was playing football and all those wonderful things, and my mom was a wonderful governor to my ambitions. She said, you're a far better scholar than you are athlete, which kind of hurt my feelings at the time. But she was absolutely right. And I started to turn my attention to what I call developing my mind.
Some of the things I contribute my success to, believe it or not, number one is failure. I had always wanted to be a lawyer, and I failed the LSAT, basically. So Spanx would not exist if I had not failed the LSAT. And at that moment in my life, it was the most devastating thing, but I've realized that failure is nothing more than life's way of nudging you and letting you know that you're not on the right path. So here I am because of that. And the second thing is visualization. I visualized this for myself. When I was selling copiers door to door, I had a very clear vision of what my life was going to be like. And I encourage everyone to do it. Take a snap photo of what success looks like for you. How many employees do you have? How much are you making? Where do you live? Are you sitting at a table with world leaders? Are you standing on a stage in New York City giving a speech? And hold on to that that snapshot, and you will subconsciously start to make decisions that get you there. And so my snap photo for myself when I was going door to door to sell copiers was to be self-employed, invent a product that I could sell to lots of people and not just one copier to each person, and create a business for myself that would continue to fund itself if I wasn't present. I wanted money to be generated without me having to be there. I was that specific in my vision. And the third thing is goal setting. It sounds so cliche, but it is so true. The two things I want to say about that is if you write your goals down, it makes all the difference. Harvard did a study in 1973. They took the graduating class and asked how many of them had goals. 100% of them had goals. Well, they asked how many had written down their goals upon graduation. Only 5% of the class had. In 1993, 20 years later, they followed up with the class. They found that the 5% that had written down their goals 20 years prior upon graduating were worth more financially than the other 95% of the class put together. So I have always written my goals down about what I wanted to achieve, and I really attribute a lot to that.
Remember, change your mind, change your life. Everybody wants to change life, but you have to change your mind. Humans are different because we have powerful minds, and sometimes that gets us in trouble, but if you pull it off right, it can bring you those things that you need in life, those things that you're missing, you know? Everybody wants the good life. Like I say in my TEDx talk, everybody wants the good life, but not everybody gets the good life because most people aren't willing to do the stuff that it takes. They're not willing to put in the time, put in the grind.
I got into to Berkeley, but I didn't get in here. And I was terrified of going to Berkeley because it was so close to home. And my parents said, "Well, you know what we said about you being able to pick where you can go to school? Yeah. As soon as you got into Berkeley, that choice went away. You're going there." And I made a deal with them that if I could get into UC San Diego, would they let me go here? And this is where I wanted to go. And my motivation was it was the best education combined with the best surf. I mean, just being honest. And I wrote a very earnest letter of appeal, and thank God I got in. And the rest is the history that we're continuing to write.
Yeah, what was the case that you made? Do you remember?
Yeah, I promised that I would really buckle down and put my head down. Why are you laughing? My wife is laughing. I made the dean's list in my freshman year. I think I made it once or twice, and then kind of fell from there. But I promised to really devote myself and make the most out of the education. That I wasn't coming to party. That I wasn't coming just to screw around. That if UC San Diego would give me the opportunity, I would really make something of myself at the school. And so that's, thanks for taking a flyer on me. And the lesson there just is never give up. Never give up. Because if I went to Berkeley, I don't think I would have had that life is a winding path, and I just don't think I would have had the same interests and inspiration there that led me ultimately to my idea for GoPro.
One thing I do really, really know now is how blessed I am to be working in this business, and that you have to work hard. Like, freedom is on the other side of discipline. And when somebody says, "I want you to play this role in my movie," you have a great responsibility. And it's just bottom line for me. And from here on out, and has been for a while, I will do everything I can for that. So as long as the opportunities come, I will do my best and try my best to do the best that I can do at that moment.
Expect difficulties is something I think everybody in this room has gotten into Harvard. Some of you probably are here, snuck in, but I don't care. Let's just say, for point of argument, that everybody here got into Harvard, and you feel this incredible pressure to succeed. And I gave a speech here back in 2000, and at the end I said, fame is a little like a white tuxedo, it looks good. Or success is a little like a white tuxedo, it looks good, but you're very afraid of getting it dirty, and it can inhibit you. And I think I would tell my 19-year-old self that everything you're feeling right now, I used to think that if I could look at someone like myself, I thought they had figured it all out and they were fine. And wouldn't it be magical if I could have my own show and be funny and everyone knew who I was and most people liked it? That would be a great thing and it would solve all my problems. And I would like my future self to say, that's not the case. It's actually day by day, how you do your work, how you conduct yourself, how you treat people, what the joy you get out of your work, that is far more important. Allow for mistakes, allow for problems. I've had my career blow up on me about 2 different times, and I'm still here and very grateful, and I learned a lot during those moments and wouldn't really change a thing about any of it. And you just have to be willing to screw up and not freak out when you do screw up, because you will screw up. I mean, you're really going to screw up.
And remember, make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.